Hey, it's the Scott Sand Show on News Radio 1370 and 92.9 FM. We've come down the hall from the studio into my office so we could connect on Zoom with Jason Kuczma from the Toledo Lucas County Library system. You're out in the parking lot now, and I believe you're in Maumee, Jason.
That's correct, out at the Maumee branch. It's gorgeous out here.
It's a beautiful day. I was going to say, I wish I was outside with you.
It's not too hot. It's beautiful.
So last week was the official reopening of the library system in Lucas County. Am I correct?
That's correct. We've been open this entire time, right? We've been providing online services to the community since the pandemic started. But last week was the first time we started welcoming more people into the buildings. We're doing a limited number of people inside our spaces so they can do some grab and go browsing, or so that they can use the technology if they need access to computers.
Since you're right there outside now, let's start with some of the curbside services that are available.
Sure. So let me flip this around. You can see when you walk up to the branch, we've got lots of visual signage here to show people what they can expect when they come to the library. Stop sign asking you to wear your masks, reminding you that you can return all of your materials outside in the drop box, and then the phone number for the branch in case you need to get a hold of somebody. So we're trying to get people prepared for coming into our spaces. They look a little bit different, but they're still the same welcoming, friendly people that are waiting to help people.
Very nice. How it seems like a lot of people have been taking advantage of the curbside service as well. See all the bags ready to pick up. We've all been desperate for stuff to do during the pandemic at home.
That's true, and we've been joking that this curbside service has been one of the most popular services that we've been able to provide. After the pandemic, we're gonna have a really hard time not doing it. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna continue this for a while. It's really convenient. People can request something on hold, then they get a little email that says, here, can you schedule your pickup? And you schedule your pickup, come in here, pick up your bag and go.
What about inside? What kind of protocols are you guys instituting to keep things safe and clean inside?
Like a lot of retail spaces, we're focusing on that social distance space, making sure that people have plenty of a distance between staff. We've got Aaron over here. Hello. But we've got cones that basically when you come into a branch, you've got a greeter who's there asking, what can we help you with, and help point you in the right direction. Cones to keep everybody socially distanced. Lots of signage here around hand washing and wearing a mask and those sort of things. But it's still, as you can see, lots and lots of videos still. Lots of excuse me, books for people to check out, waiting for people to come pick them up.
The library up until March of this year, it's always been one of those places where people were encouraged to come in and browse around and relax and sit and touch stuff. I'm not sure that's the proper way to use a library right now.
It's been a little bit counterintuitive for us, right? We want people to come and spend as much time at the library as they want. And now, we know that long period of time is not necessarily conducive to keeping people safe. And that's been the number one priority for us, is making sure that we keep our staff and the community safe. We can't have a library if our staff members are sick. So we've been doing a really great job, I think, of adhering to our social distancing practices. We've got very rigorous standards for making sure that we're cleaning materials. When people return things, they get quarantined for 96 hours. So they get put in a room, set them aside, and then 96 hours later, they go back into circulation.
Yeah, because you can't exactly take Lysol wipes to books every time somebody checks one out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we know that through some studies that have been done, 96 hours is plenty of time for those materials for the virus to become inactive or inert.
What kind of support have you had from the community during the shutdown, during the pandemic, as people have had to adjust the way that they use the library?
I mean, I will say that people have been overwhelmingly supportive, and they understood that it was going to take us some time to open up our spaces. Unlike the local coffee shop or a bar or a restaurant with one location, we've got 20 locations, including main library, which is over 300,000 square feet. So it took us some time to get our spaces exactly where we needed them to be, and we've been constantly tweaking our process and tweaking some of the things inside our buildings when we learn what works and what doesn't work. And honestly, people have been so supportive, and we had lots of ways for people to engage online, whether that's virtual or online book groups or the curbside pickup, as we saw, and the Saturday mornings at the library has been really popular as well. It's video, online video at YouTube. It's our channel.
With kids going back to school, how will they be able to use the facilities for research materials?
You can always contact the librarian. We actually are doing Zoom reference interviews, so you can hop on a Zoom call with a librarian and get some of the answers that you need, or we're always encouraging people to dial 419-259-5200 to get connected to exactly what they need. And while we're in this pandemic, we're limiting people's time in the buildings. We're here plenty of hours for people to give us a call and help us. We can help you out that way.
Can we have
right now?
Can we have a Zoom librarian on call ready to go to fact check my show in real time?
Oh, we already do that, Scott. You know that.
Right.
We've got long files on your show and make sure that keeping you
make sure everything's
keeping you honest, right?
There, right.
Yeah, you'll notice here too. Look behind me. Public access computers. We've got plexiglass in between them. We have the computers. Every other one is active, so that means we don't have people sitting next to each other or across the table from each other. So, lots of things we're doing to try to keep people safe.
So people can still come in and use the technology that you have available at the library as well.
100%. And that was one of my biggest concerns. I know that our community reflects national numbers as well, that about a third of our community members don't have access to broadband internet at home. And so that was one of the big concerns for me. We're glad people can come in for browsing, grab and go browsing, but I really wanted to make sure that people had access to that lifeline, that technology. People are filling out unemployment, they're filling out job applications. There's lots of reasons people need to get online. They might not be able to do that at home, and we can do that at the library.
And you've got the same protocols in place throughout the entire county and all of the library systems.
Absolutely. We're working from something called a Safe Work Playbook that we put together in concert with the Toledo Lucas County Health Department. And that basically guides us through what all of our spaces look like. It guides us through what happens if we have cases of COVID, either in customers or with staff. And so lots of things that we're doing to keep people in safe. We have drop-down spots if people want to hang out at a table and just use the Wi-Fi. We know that's been one of the things that's been requested quite a bit from people. They just need a place to come and work where they have reliable internet access.
So as you talk about limiting access to the library, how long will you allow somebody to come in and stay and browse?
We're saying loosely an hour or so at a time. People are making computer appointments that we can go for an hour, 2 hours, so a couple hours. We're not timing people and kicking them out. We know people come in and they do what they need to do and head on out after that. And like I said before, it's counterintuitive for us to say, hey, we don't want you to spend all day here, because we really do want people of all ages to spend lots of time at the library.
It's interesting. Last time I had you on, Jason, you talked me into finally getting a Toledo Lucas County Library card, which I did, or at least I got the email for it. And then the shutdown came, so I don't have a physical card yet.
We have an online access for people to get library cards at ToledoLibrary.org, and we saw those numbers go through the roof during this pandemic. We signed up thousands of people with new cards, and it's been really convenient because it gives you basically instant access to all sorts of digital resources that we have online.
And what are some of those digital resources? Talk to us about what's available at ToledoLibrary.org. I
would encourage folks to check out the library app. It was linked from our website, ToledoLibrary.org. That app allows you to search through everything that you need, all of our digital resources, as well as books. Also, when you're in the building, you can use your app to check out books right while you're standing here. It's another way that we're trying to keep people safe. But as usual, we have tons of audiobooks, ebooks. Those are all accessible via our Libby app, which is a really popular platform. But also we've got movies and TV shows via Hoopla. It's basically a library version of Netflix at home. So there's lots of ways for people to get digital access. Plus, we've got resources like tutor.com as kids are going back to school, whether that's virtually and kind of struggling with the virtual or in-person or those hybrid programs. Programs like tutor.com can help kids work through some of those challenges. So
I'm conducting an interview with you as you're walking through the library, and I can't help but notice you're not whispering.
I know. As a matter of fact, some of the folks here are being a little louder than I am. So yeah, the library is not a place for whispering anymore. It's a dynamic place where communities come together, and that's one of the things that's been so hard about this pandemic is it's a place where we build communities in. And not being able to do that in our physical spaces is a little bit difficult.
So why did you pick the Maumee branch? When we set up this interview and set up a time to talk, you said you were going to go out into the field. What made you choose the Maumee branch of the library?
Well, I will tell you that all of our branches are working from the same playbook, as I mentioned. But Allison Fisk is the manager here. She is one of our top-notch librarian or managers in relation to retail displays and just really focusing on how our places, our spaces are welcoming, but also so informative. So they've done a great job here, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come out here. But obviously, every one of our spaces is open and available for people to come in, use that technology, excuse me, use that technology or do that grab and go browsing.
Masks required, I assume, as I see you wearing a mask in there.
Masks are required as per that state order. You know, we do have spaces where, you know, for folks who prefer not to or are unable to wear a mask, we are working on accommodation spaces to, they won't be at every location, but we'll have a number of locations where if for some reason you can't use it, you can't wear a mask, we'll find a place for you to be isolated in a room by yourself.
And I should point out for everybody watching the Zoom video online that I'm not wearing a mask, but I'm alone in my office as I am most of the day here at the iHeartRadio building.
Yeah, I'm a little envious because, you know, it's summertime. These masks can get a little stifling, but yeah.
It's a beautiful day to grab a book. And in fact, we're talking to a lot of authors lately who have brand new books out this summer that are available at the library. You can check out and go outside and park and by the pool and read this summer.
Absolutely, audiobooks as well as that old-fashioned print stuff that people like to take with them on vacations or get back to the backyard.
Well, Jason, it's great to see half your face. It's good to have you back on.
It's a pleasure.
And we'll talk very soon. Keep us informed about what's happening at the library system.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Scott.
Jason Kuczma live on Zoom. You can find out more, by the way, at ToledoLibrary.org. It's the Scott Sand Show and on Zoom on News Radio 1370 and 92.9 FM.